Okay, so once you have completed your basic letters, it's time to look and see what kind of constraints they identified as we were drawing. You may have noticed with some, as you look like constraints are up here and perpendicular and some others, they have been applied into your letters. So in order to see all the constraints, you can right click and show all constraints. Also the F8 button at the top of your keyboard will show all constraints. If you happen to be on the line tool or some other tool while you're drawing, you'll notice those constraints popping in as you draw. If you don't want a constraint as you draw, it's pretty simple to override any constraints being applied. Just hold down the control button, and then now you'll see those constraints won't automatically apply. All right, undo these. All right, so I've shown all my constraints here. You can see perpendicular comes in a pair. There's a vertical line, another set of perpendiculars. You'll also notice all of the yellow squares look like dots are showing you where two lines intersect. And you'll notice here, if I zoom in and look, this line particularly didn't connect to the end of this point. There's some options. You can use the stroke tool again, and you can trim off this segment. Or I could left click and hold and drag this point up until it's connected to that top bar. You see sometimes, in this case, it doesn't really want to connect there. So I will kind of zoom in and I'll trim that one out. All right. See. Also, if you want to hide all constraints, the F9 button, or while they're visible, you can right click and go hide all constraints, F9. All right. Now, see, I've got a line tool selected, so I don't have all the options. You always have to cancel your tool or hit escape. Show all constraints again. Okay, so I just want to clean up some of these, or if I want to, for example, make these lines even, I could left click and drag and just try to eyeball it. And sometimes it'll automatically snap on to that line, especially as you're drawing. But back here in my constraint bar, I can do collinear. Collinear is a good way to just ensure that those are even, and you can apply that here. If you get an error, in this case, that means basically that's already been applied. And you can see that you don't see a collinear. However, if I hover over about one of these, there you go. As I was drawing, it established on this coincident constraint to be, looks like perpendicular to this line. So a lot of those just kind of apply as you go. So I'm just going to kind of look through here and see what I want to do. Say I want to make this one vertical. Be careful not to click on a middle or a center point of a line. Sometimes that'll apply it. It may look like it works. I like to avoid it and just apply that constraint to the line itself. Same thing here. I kind of like that shape. All right. If I want to get really symmetrical, I could use my equal constraint and equal each of these bottom legs one to each other. Therefore, they're all equaled out now. Maybe this one and this one if it lets me. Nope. Over constraint means that something else is preventing that from happening. All right, so these all look pretty good. And what if I want to line up this circle to my letter I? Well, there probably needs to be some sizing done because it looks like it essentially is too big anyway. I could use a tangent constraint. And a tangent constraint even if these are I don't really want to undo that. But if I tangent to this left edge, it didn't really move. But if I escape, show all constraints, maybe it didn't apply this way. There you go. It did move, but it didn't drag it down. And it says, look, physically, however, I can still move. You can see here, it is. It is applied, even though they're physically present. But for protecting or predicting the output, line or vertically might intersect it. And if I did that on both sides, so let's see. If I were able to do that, little face there. So that's one way to do it. An alternate way, maybe quicker way, if I wanted to do this, would be to use a vertical constraint and make that center point vertical with the midpoint. And if I hover over this one, I'll get a midpoint. That's pretty neat. And it resizes as well, because I still have that perpendicular constraint. I mean that tangent constraint. Okay, so that looks good. Now what about spacing my letters evenly, between each other? And I can't still just drag these lines around. Well, that's affecting everything. That's a good way to know too. Also, if you have the constraints applied where you want them to drag the line and see what happens. I like those wider anyway. So in this case, it's a little bit harder just to move one thing. So just wanting to drag that whole line. So you have to click on a corner if you want to drag this guy out. Giving me grief here. Easier said than done sometimes. But I go back to the question: how would I space these evenly between them? I could use the dimensioning technique, and I haven't. For example, I could dimension this, and then this line is dimension and equal it. Once you dimension one, then you can no longer drag it around and give it this kind of thought. But it is one way to do it. So let's say I want kind of like that. I like to try to make my dimension a more even number, like 0.18, for example. Or I might even go up to 0.2, just to see. And I like that. It's good. And then I can use my dimension and dimension the distance. So if I click on one line, come across to the other, I can dimension the distance between lines. And I can make it 0.2. Or I could drag this away a little. Click on this dimension that I applied earlier. So let's say I don't have anything here. I can click on this dimension, and instead of writing 0.2, it says D9. And D9 is the designated dimension. So every time you dimension something, and I've already dimensioned the keychain body itself, so I've got 8 previous dimensions, so this would be the 9th, and this is the 10th, and I can apply that. And now it's basically, if I change this one, I'm changing the other one with it, because they're copies of each other. So there's a way to do that. You could draw a line and use the equal constraint, but I would suggest not doing that. If you did, we could use a construction line as a tool so that it wouldn't affect the extrusion we're going to do in just a minute. Okay, so I'll continue dimensioning these and tie them all back to that original one. I don't want to dimension that. Now here's a little trickier because I really don't want to dimension all the way back to this point. I would want to dimension to here. Let's see if that will let me know. Sometimes this is a tricky one to do, so I may have to use some additional math to figure this one out in a minute. So I'm running a little short on time. About 5 minutes left in this recording. So let's try to apply a little. I'm missing a hole on my letter P. Let's just do a line, catching a constraint. If you're using the line tool and you left click and hold, it'll toggle kind of to the arc tool without having to move your mouse and select that. And depending on which way you move, your initial starting point will draw that arc in different ways. So here, bring that around. There you go. And it looks a little bit goofy, so I would probably want to try to figure out a way to make this look a little nicer. But let's say I'm happy with all this and it looks good. Then I'll be ready to extrude these letters so I can finish my sketch, extrude my letters, and I'll have to select each part. If you get to this point and some letter does not extrude, you need to go back to your sketch, come to your browser, right click or double click, either one, right click and edit, and go F9, F8 to small constraint. Make sure that there is a yellow square at each corner, and that tells you that your profile is complete. So if you just see lines connected but you don't have a yellow square, you need to zoom in and correct that. You may have lines overlapping each other and things like that. Finish my sketch. Extrude. 0.1 is a good distance for these. And there you have your custom keychain. Oh. Save it, and we will 3D print. Thank you.